Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are good today. And I'm back again with PL Primetime, and we're just saying off air there's quite a lot to talk about, and it's going to be a really great show. So, yeah, thank you again for coming on my channel. How are you doing today?
Firstly, thank you for having me. As always, it's always a pleasure to run back our weekly show. As always, it's definitely been a little while, but at the same time, I'm glad we had to reschedule for this week to talk about, as you've said, a great many things. Um,
Yeah.
so. But in all seriousness, it's a pleasure to be here. Always blessed, always grateful to be here. And yeah, looking forward to chatting football. It's definitely been some time, and a big up as always for having me.
Yeah, there's just, there is so much to talk about, and honestly, I want to get Arsenal out of the way because I'm still pretty annoyed, if I'm being honest. It's been a few days now, and I just feel like I'm glad it's the international break, and I don't usually say that because I'm not really the biggest fan of the breaks. But yeah, I don't really have too much to say about Arsenal because I just feel so disappointed with the performance, and to lose against Man City, it just feels. I just hate losing against Man City, especially in a final. Um, but as an outsider, were you expecting Arsenal to win the final? Because for me, we haven't played the best this season, but I know we have quality and we can get over the line. We've got a great defence, and I was really hoping that we would really turn up to the occasion, and we just didn't, especially in that second half.
No, I think you're spot on. As for who I predicted to win this final, for me, and as much as for those who are new or it's the first time you're seeing me here, I on a more banter side of things, I live by ABBA, an acronym anyone but Arsenal. But in all seriousness, I thought this was going to be a rather even contest. Yeah, because we've seen how poor Man City have been by some of the great teams we've seen in the past, where it's the 100-point Centurions, or it's the 2018-19 a winning side that won all the domestics, the treble winning side. For me, this is one of the worst Man City sides I've seen, definitely in the Pep era for sure. When I look for player, in regards to quality and all that, but Man City is still, yeah, as you've seen in the from that final, they're still always one to take seriously. And I actually expected, as much as I was telling myself, I think Man City was going to take care of business, and I think that they were going to win. Given how Arsenal have, I've been looking, and their wonderfully entertaining style of football, I thought, given the lack of technical players that Man City have, or maybe Ryan Cherokee and all that. I mean, really, their threats are what in attack. Obviously, you have Erling and Semenyo and Doku. They're not going to be breaking down low blocks unless if you give them space in behind to run in. So, although very dangerous players, I thought Arsenal would, really actually take care of business and would win this cup. But, even me, myself, someone who's, anti-Arsenal above pretty much, everyone else, I was shocked not just by Man City winning. I mean, it shouldn't be surprised by that actually, but for me, more the manner that Man City won. I mean, Arsenal. I mean, you lot didn't really lay a glove on them, uh, and and I'll admit to all your subscribers here and all your viewers and followers that I would be straight up lying to you and to the entire audience watching this if I were to say I didn't fall asleep once for the entirety of the game,
Yeah, the
which
first half was a
Arteta done
bit,
it again.
yeah.
I tried. I know a cup final. I genuinely tried. I really tried, but I yet again I failed. But yeah, I watched the game back, but it was really surprising to see just you know almost how easy Arteta made it for Pep to win it, and of course they're individual players that I assume will get into more as you go on during our show today. But yeah, just really, really poor performance. And for me, I think I said this in our last show, whether it's on my channel or yours, maybe both. That for me, I said for this league title, I think this cup final is going to be massive for for confidence and in this final run in. And I was saying for me, I think whoever wins this cup final, I think will go on to win the league. And I think for me, I'm gonna stand by it. Not because of my
Yeah.
anti-Arsenal agenda, but when it comes to Man City, they're serial winners. They know how like this is
Yeah.
prime time Man City. Less so than before. You don't usually see them drop points to Forest around this time, but I think they'll
Yeah.
go on. And I think Arsenal and Arteta will do what they've done best for the last 3-4 years. Unfortunately, but they can prove me wrong.
Yeah, it is tough, isn't it? I think especially because we play Man City. I think if we didn't play Man City, I think we'd probably win the league. But I think in those games again, they know we're not very creative. They know that we do have a great defense, and actually in the first half that was actually okay. But I think again we just didn't have a spark, and Eze being out was a big blow. I know he's not had the best season, but he has been a lot more creative and he's been scoring more recently. Odegaard obviously wasn't available, so we had to go with Havertz. But like you said, I wouldn't have minded us losing if we gave everything. We just didn't, and it's so disappointing as well because obviously there's so many big talking points of the game. Obviously, to get to a League Cup final was great. We haven't been in that League Cup final for a long time, and we have lost every time we've been. I
Hmm.
mean, we won it years ago, but it was just again as fans, we were really up for this, and again, it just
Hmm.
feels like a big letdown. And again, Kepa started. I wasn't really big on that because I know he has a mistake in him. Won't say he's to blame because again, Havertz had a great chance. If Havertz scores that earlier on,
Mm.
then I think that's a different game. Not saying we'd win it, but I just think against Man City, you're not going to have a lot of chances. And the one chance we needed him to take, he just didn't do. Um, yeah, I don't have too much to say about the game. It's just again a big letdown. Obviously, I think Arteta made quite a few mistakes in that game. I don't know why he took so long to sub the players off again. Trossard, Hincape, you could clearly see they were struggling, and you have to make these subs earlier, and he's just too slow to react. And again, I feel like Arteta is making a few problems, and he has. We've known Arteta to make mistakes over these past few years, and again, as you said, Man City could win the league. We're not massive points ahead of them. They do win the game in hand. That gap closes, and again, if they beat us when we play them away from home, it's game on really, and that gap really is going to be quite close. And you can see these players are tired. You can see these players are just not at their best. So, yeah, I do feel quite worried going forward, really, about the title race. I know we are in the Champions League, but again, we've got injuries now, so I'm not feeling the most confident about how we're going to do after the international break, to be honest.
No, and you're absolutely spot on to be doing all these things, especially about the cup final. What's annoyed me the most is, and universally, we all love Righty, we do, but seeing some of the quotes he come out with after talking about, oh, it's only the League Cup, let's focus on the league. If Arsenal had won that League Cup, I know this could be totally completely different, and the PR would be going crazy. And
Yeah,
for those who are new here, uh, just last summer I graduated with my bachelor's degree in journalism. So I know PR. I know PR when I see it, people. And for me, like I'm thinking to myself, right? And again, typically more times than none, I have no sympathy for Arsenal. But though for the matchgoers who went to that cup final, you know, for those who brought their children and their kids and who spent the money to go and go to Wembley uh, for that cup final or for any cup final at Wembley for the day out, it's not inexpensive, and I think Ian Wright coming out with those quotes. I mean, it's so wide of the mark because hindsight's a wonderful thing, and let's say Arsenal had won that cup final, those quotes would be completely different.
Yeah,
So it's just,
exactly.
yeah, I definitely have some sympathy for specifically those who went to that cup final. But for me, yeah, just I mean, as you said, I mean, what's bar maybe some individuals to highlight? I mean, what's really to talk about? I mean, this is just what it's 20 years now.
Yeah,
We've seen this kind of thing. I mean, it's our first final in 5 years. So I mean, I felt the exact same you know when we got to the Carabao Cup final and actually won it
yeah,
in 2023 with Ten Hag again. And yes, that'll be one of the only times I'll say that guy's name. So I'll just let people know that going forward. But just again, just getting over the line. I mean, that manager shall not be named. Is one of his famous quotes at my club that I hear all the time, and even now, 2 trophies in 2 years. Even he somehow got over the line against Man City in one of our
yeah,
worst seasons. So, and against a better Man City side as well. So, and for me, I'm just, I'm genuinely shocked how Arsenal not lost, but just in the manner that they lost. And yeah, there definitely are some performances or players to talk about. I mean, Kepa just, I mean, you could say Kepa is the reason why Man City obviously scored that first goal, but I feel like, as you were saying earlier, you can go and talk about individuals, but the neck of it really is, once again, as always, it boils down to the manager and the
yeah,
mentality in the finals. So, but yeah, there's definitely a few players to talk about. I mean, I was surprised that Kai Havertz didn't score though. I mean, clinical, but I need a striker Kai. I mean, in finals, that's like the most clutch version of Kai Havertz you'll see. I was
that chance
genuinely
was,
shocked.
yeah, that
I
was
thought he was going to score because this is Kai Havertz in a final, and that's like the best version of Kai Havertz that you're going to see. But I think if there's one player to talk about, I think you have to talk about your fan base call him Star Boy, even though he's 24 years old. We have to talk because it's getting worrying now with Bukayo Saka. And as much as I find your cup final loss absolutely hilarious. I mean, for Saka, specifically, he'll be going to the World Cup for us this summer, and I
yeah.
I need him to be confident and informed for that. Same with Rice and all that. So, but yeah, I think we should talk about Saka, and if there is anything else you wanted to bring up this cup final, not to prolong your misery on this.
Yeah, you make some great points as well. I mean, I didn't. Do you know, I thought when when we lost that, I thought I won't listen to anything, or I won't watch Man City lift that trophy because I just thought I couldn't believe it. And like, obviously, what Ian Wright says it's disappointing because again, if we win the league, we're probably not going to be bothered. But I suppose as well, if you do see it this way, we had a chance to win the League Cup and the league. We could have won quite a few things. So it does feel like you said, it's just how we lost. And again, Arteta making those mistakes. And I just think as well with these players, they're just not turning up. I think even though we have come a long way, I do think we have a mentality problem, especially in finals. Like, I think if we got to like an FA Cup final, would we be able to do it? I don't know. And again, if I know as fans, I don't really say this, but I know people think we could get to a Champions League final. I just feel like we would just crumble under pressure.
Yeah, I was
Depending on
gonna
who we get.
say.
Yeah, I just don't think. I don't know what it is, but I mean, I saw as well after the game Saliba, and he looked so
Mhm.
broken, and I thought to myself, you know what, you're gonna leave, aren't you, if we don't win anything? So,
I mean,
yeah,
he should sign a new deal. So, I mean, I mean, I remember the quotes he come out with when he signed the new deal. He wants to stay and win, play for this manager, and win trophies, at Arsenal. Which, I mean, for me, that kind of says, unless if he's regretting that decision, which I wouldn't blame him if he did.
Yeah.
For me, that kind of just says everything you need to know about, his mentality in a way. Like assuming. I mean, I was gonna ask, when does Arteta's contract expire? I mean, I know
I
he's
think it's
getting,
I think it's
you know,
27, so it's not. I think it's 27 or 28, so it's not too far.
okay. Because for me, I think, I could definitely see either side happening. I could see the Cronkies just wanting to, seeing Arteta as, uh, just as a younger Wenger in his latter years, just someone to be a
Yeah.
shield for the board and all that. But at the same time, I could see, like the new people coming in, Andrea Berta thinking, yeah, enough's enough now. He's been given how much time, and this is what you've given me. Yeah, just yeah, it's time now, and there's no more excuses for Arteta. There's no
Yeah.
more. He now has, and a lot of these players he handpicked himself. I mean,
Yeah.
for the wingers that were out there. I mean, he wanted to go and sign, super scary Thierry Henry, man like Nonaldinho, Nonzinho Madueke. He wanted to, he was in full support of keeping Gabriel Martinelli, 180 grand a week. Jesus, 275 grand a week. Clinical binding to striker Kai Havertz, I think, again, near the 300, like 275 mark. And of course, Bakayo Saka, the new 300 grand a week contract.
Yeah.
And I've seen this before with a certain Marcus Rashford. You've seen this with an Aubameyang.
Yeah.
So, but I'll say for him, for Bukayo Saka, it's very concerning. Like since he signed that contract, like you know, I don't know if you know or you've seen the movie. You know the movie Space Jam.
I've heard of
It
it,
just
yeah.
seems every time it's since he signed that contract, it's like Space Jam. Just all of his powers have just been taken away. Like that, like
Feels
that.
like it.
Bukayo Saka is and looking like, and Bukayo Saka is a very good player. I know, a good amount of my mates, some really rate him. Some people, slander him to ridiculous comparisons and nicknames, which I'm not really for. I think Bukayo Saka is a very good player. I think technically he has good fundamentals, but I mean, it's concerning when you have, this is the guy, the leader and now the captain in Odegaard's absence, and he's not really leading by example on the pitch. He's not. I don't see big leader. He doesn't scream captain for me. Like,
No, yeah.
I mean, if this was Odegaard, rightfully so, he'd be getting cooked from all angles. So just but Bukayo Saka, it's worrying. And I think if this is the Bukayo Saka you're going to get for the rest of the season, for me, I think there's an even more, likely of a chance that Man City will find their way back to this. I think they will find their way back to this title race and even win it.
Yeah,
So it's concerning.
I don't really know what's happened to Saka. I mean, it's worrying as well. Like, I know with Aubameyang, I mean we've seen it with quite a few players. You never would have imagined that to have happened, and in football in general, it does happen to players. And I would say Saka has been overplayed, and he's tired. But I do feel like if
Mhm.
he's playing, he's clearly fit enough. So I just feel like I
I
don't.
don't
It's
know.
difficult. I don't know. I mean,
Because players are rushed back. They can be rushed back quite often. How many times for me
yeah, it
that
has been
hamstring
rushed back.
injury he sustained last season, it wasn't like a grade 1, it was a grade 3. And
Yeah,
grade 3 hamstring injuries are much more severe and should be
yeah,
taken much more seriously. But again, he was rushed back for the latter, remainder part of the season for that Champions League run in the semifinal. and since then he's looked like a shadow of the player that he once was. So
Yeah, it's hard
it's
to
it's
know if
it's
he's fully
concerning.
fit.
It's very, very concerning. I was surprised that, and yes, it is a final, but you know, just in case if Arteta didn't know, you know, you can't win the final by drawing. If Mikel
Yeah.
didn't know, I'm surprised as to why. Very surprised as to why he didn't just throw Max Salmon on. Like, you know,
Yeah, I think
he.
McStan was on the bench, actually. I'm pretty sure he
I
travelled.
know.
Yeah,
I was stunned. I mean, the performance when he come on against Everton was so unbelievably impressive and eye catching. Which
yeah,
yes, I watched the game somehow, and I nearly fell asleep, as always. But Max Salmon just got me off my seat. Kid's 16 years old, and he's
he is incredible.
something else. I just despise that he plays for Arsenal. That's
Yeah,
really it.
yeah, he is. I do enjoy watching him at the moment, and
Like
I
he's
yeah,
phenomenal. And that was a massive 3 points that, he was
he
the
got
one
us
that
those
created the
3
goal
points. Yeah,
for Gyökeres, and that goal he scored himself, even though it was an open goal. I mean, the composure to just
yeah, the
carry the ball all
confidence.
the way. I mean, another young sort of expect, I don't know, Martinelli screamed for the ball, would have just passed him the ball. And he was like, nah, yeah, no, I'm not gonna pass you the ball. No, I'm good.
I'm glad he
And
did that because
it
no,
showed
look what.
it shows a certain level of fearlessness. And I'm just surprised that in a final, just you know, also always talk about Hell End with Saka and Lewis Skelly, who I forgot it even existed. Why not show that you have faith in the kids and throw Max Salmon on? But why not? You have nothing to lose. I mean,
Exactly.
you can't possibly be any worse than Bukayo Saka has been. I mean, unless if you want to play super scary Madueke, which again, shock, he's not that scary. Neither is Martinelli. Trossard just,
He,
him starting
yeah,
matches.
he
It's
struggled. He
you
massively in
can't
that
start
game.
matches. He's a super sub. He's one of the best finishers at your club. I rate Trossard, but as a player off the bench, not to be
Yeah,
starting, week in and week out, which um it's concerning as to how Saka, I mean, not Saka, how Dalman's not even, even has he started a Premier League game? No, not
no,
once. And
I
again,
think
he's a young player,
yeah,
and you have to be careful with him. But the way Arteta is treated, you know, your youth players, Lewis Skelly in particular. Last season, we were lauding him as one of the best, left backs in the Premier League, and even on the European spectrum. And now you look at him this season, it's been more or less ostracized from first team football.
yeah,
So
that's been crazy. He was so good last season. I know he had moments where he struggled, but overall he was pretty good. And it's just he's had no game time. I'm like, I don't mind him if he's not going to play at left back, but at least give him a chance in midfield or just get him in the team because
I feel
you
sorry for
know
him as well. Mhm.
I think he's gonna move on. I think that's what's gonna happen.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
as well as like with Waneri, I think to myself, we could do with him right now. I'm not saying he
he's
would.
another one.
Yeah,
He's such a technically gifted footballer. But again, we've talked about this so many times before. We know what Arteta thinks about technically gifted footballers that are, and especially youth products. We all know what he thinks about them. We saw what he done even with Smith Rowe.
yeah,
Was was definitely in a very, 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 very dangerous place in regards to his job being safe. Basically had nothing else, just threw the kids in there, which was, that was the Sacco breakthrough, the ESR breakthrough, the Martinelli breakthrough. Smith Rowe served his purpose, then decided more or less to just never play him again, moved him on. And he's done this, he's doing this now with Ethan. He's now effectively done that with Lewis Skelly. And, if I were an Arsenal fan, I would be petrified seeing the gem that you've got in Max Stallman and
yeah,
with this manager at your football club. And what could very well happen, to his Arsenal career. in Max Salmon.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
seeing Arteta's track record, it's scary. It's definitely scary.
I think with Arteta, like, I don't think he's one for really giving academy players a lot of opportunities. I mean, I get there's games you can't play, these players in. We've got Southampton in the FA Cup. We can give
Mhm.
those players a chance then, but it would be nice to throw them on when we're struggling, because like you said, we've got nothing to lose. Against Man City, 2-0, I mean, at 1-0, I kind of felt like we weren't going to come back. But at 2-0, I just thought, it is what it is. Just throw on, and I know we're quite limited with players like Martinelli. We know they're not going to probably win us games, but yeah, just do something here. And he didn't. So it'd be interesting to see how we react from it. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't win the league, because obviously
Yeah.
we've
And
been here before, and
if it's
yeah,
trophyless again, then very, very, very uncomfortable conversations will happen. I mean, as for me on a banter side of things, I mean, I'll be over the moon and overjoyed. But for Arsenal, especially with Arteta, it's going to be very, very, very uncomfortable
yeah,
conversations. Especially if you
yeah,
walk away with nothing again.
yeah. Oh
There'll be
god,
very uncomfortable conversations. And I think for me, this and the international breaks come through at a good time. And I think to transition away from Arsenal,
yeah,
it's one of it's the first time in a long time where I'm not looking forward to an international break, because usually before in years gone by, with my football club's last two unfortunately employed managers at my football club, when an international break would come around, I'd be crying tears of joy to have a break and
yeah,
to not having to watch that football. You know, I would go out of my way to watch Southgate football. To just to not have to watch the football of
yeah,
those two managers. And I know also fans love a referee blame show. As for me, that's never really been my thing, because I think almost every time where you could blame a referee, there's things that you definitely could have done
yeah,
to
definitely.
win the game. But with my football club, yeah, it's not great. As for the result, it's not ideal. I mean, we still got a point at the end of it, but
There was
I
quite a
guess
few,
that's a perfect
yeah,
segue.
there was quite a few big moments, like penalty shoutouts. Obviously, the red card as well. What did you make of the decisions? Because I know there was actually another penalty shout for you. I don't think it went your way, but yeah, what do you make of like the referee and the decisions? I know obviously you have to do other things to win a game, but like, did you think it was a red card, and what's your overall thoughts on it?
With the penalty decision in particular, look, like with the double jeopardy thing, I always get confused in the sense that because I always thought that you can't give a penalty and a red card. I thought it was if it's denial of an obvious goal scoring opportunity in the box,
Yeah,
it's 100% a penalty, 100% without question, and it's a yellow card given. Whether I'm just not up to date with the rules and all that, but um, I wouldn't think that Harry Maguire would get the double jeopardy, but that's no longer a thing, and double jeopardy is in full effect. Then look, again, I would be blatantly lying to say that Harry Maguire didn't deserve a red card, because I mean it was soft, very very
yeah. Well,
soft,
I
but
did think it was soft as well.
but
Yeah,
even he admitted himself, he knows what he was doing. Like last man, Evan Nilsson's in on goal, very soft, but yeah, like it's definitely a red card challenge to not have an obvious goal scoring opportunity. But yeah, how Ahmad Diallo wasn't given a penalty on the other end. I'm still just bewildered. And I'll say this: my football club has been robbed when you hear all the pundits and all the ups that do nothing but chat rubbish on my football club's name in any given opportunity that they get to slander Man United. when even they're saying that we've been hard done by, then you know it's fairly legitimate.
Yeah.
And if it's one thing that the media love to do, it's slander my football club. And you know, at any point, at any time, at any opportunity. But when 90% of the quotes that they've come out with have been, yeah, they've definitely been hard done by. And I've heard that, oh, Ahmad went down easily. Okay, then if he's gone, if you think he's dived, then stop the game and book him for diving. So the game stops. So Bournemouth don't go immediately straight down the other end, where again our midfield is completely wide open, and Christie goes and scores at the end, and that goal doesn't happen. And
Exactly,
if
yeah.
and with chances and all of that, I mean, again, there's definitely players to talk about. I mean, as much as I praise Mbeumo for his record against scoring against the big sits, again, I've likened him to Salah in the sense that, which I assume we will talk about Mo Salah later on. But if he's not really getting G&A, what is he doing to affect the game? Bar he is pressing in this false nine system. Nothing. I mean, his first touch is honestly an eyesore to watch. His ability to just control the ball, to dictate, he can't do any of that. That's not why we brought him here. We brought him here, again, to be the one to stop that, to get the G&A. And another awful afternoon. Ahmad struggled yet again. He really needs to step it up, as much as I rate Ahmad so highly. And as much as so if you're gonna find this, mental. You're gonna find this absolutely mental. I have to defend Ahmad from Chelsea fans who preach that Pedro Neto is better than Ahmad Diallo, which yes, those takes exist. And I'm welcoming of all footballing opinions, but if it's something that's just complete and utter nonsense, I'm not having it. And yeah, and he really needs to step up, because I expect much more than him than obviously
Yeah.
that I would expect of a Pedro Neto. I expect much more than him, because he's light years a better footballer than him, and he's not stepping up. Cunha, a shining light. I feel sorry for him, because I feel like at times he's just on his own. But I think a draw was was a well deserved at the end of it. But I can't say that I'm incredibly pleased. I think in a good amount of the passages of a play be rapport. Casemiro, for me, that since Carrick's been in, I think that might be the worst that I've seen him. That generally might be the worst I've seen in Casemiro. So, yeah, he was not great, and it shows why he can't be someone to play every single week, especially even though he's leaving. We can't rely on Cas every single week,
Yeah.
especially competing on all fronts. And that's my guy. Big up Casemiro as well. Best midfielder in the Premier League. There's for the clickbait. But that was one of his worst games that I've seen. What did you make of it? Whether it's individuals, before I keep waffling on to no end, because there's definitely a player or two that I can definitely talk about. Specific a certain Portuguese player.
Yeah, I think obviously there was a lot of decisions in the game that, I mean, some of them were soft. Obviously, when you were 1-0 up, there was another penalty incident, which I think looked like a penalty. I think Bournemouth, again, I think they're quite a hard side to beat at times. I know we've played them and it can be quite difficult. But I think for United, again, it's, you want to sort of finish in top four, do as best as you can, and it's very competitive right now around there. So it's a game that you really want to win. Again, like you said, there was some poor performances in there. I think Fernandez is actually doing pretty good at the moment. Obviously, scoring that penalty
Yeah,
in a really crucial moment
he's
is
getting his
yeah.
stat padding in his G&A, but and Man United fans, a lot of Man United fans absolutely despise me, because as everyone knows at this point with Bruno, as much as he's had for me a largely very very good season, and for me, these whole player of the year, Premier League PFA Player of the Year shouts for me, they're absolutely deserved. But however, you know, similar to whether it's Salah, whether it's Bukayo Saka,
Yeah.
it's either, and even Declan Rice, for example, especially with Declan Rice, it's either Declan Rice in Ballon d'Or conversations, he can play for any team in the world. Real Madrid should sign him this summer, or it's Declan Rice is your typical average English midfielder. He's a B Tech Conor Gallagher. Like there's no there could be a little bit of a middle ground here. Like it doesn't have to be he's the best that's ever graced the game,
Yeah.
or it's he's literally just Conor Gallagher's son. Like we there could be a bit of a middle ground here. Which for me, this again, as I've said millions of times, for what Bruno does best and is in regards to inevitability and X factor, just purely from just a numbers point of view. I mean, it's very even me is for me one of his biggest critics. It's difficult to question his ability to get on the stat sheet and his numbers. I mean, the numbers are there. But again, like I said with Salah, outside the numbers, just his all-round performance. Again, in the Bournemouth game, poor. Yes, he got his assist. Yes, he got his penalty. But again, I would see goofball time and time again. He would get dispossessed. And
Yeah.
in times where he would get dispossessed, I'd just see him just walking back. And again, it leaves it's him once again for I feel like the millionth and first time saying this. Again, him not tracking back, just another way of him just vacating the midfield and leaving again Cass and Colby with much more work to do in that midfield.
Yeah.
Which for me, it's a big reason why Cass struggled. The times where
Mm.
Cass has been at his worst, sure, loss of legs. But for me, Bruno is a big, 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 massive reason as to why. Because when he vacates the midfield, whoever's playing at 6 is largely isolated by himself. Because, as much as I love Kobbie Mainoo, he, the kid doesn't really have that many, defensive genes in his body. Because he's just not a defensive player. That's not what Kobbie
Yeah.
Mainoo is. Which again, and speaking of Kobbie Mainoo, anytime I'm on any platform, regardless of what channel, whether it's mine or yours or whomever, of course, as always, even poor performances, again, Kobbie Mainoo, another shining gem in this Man United signing. I mean, again, just everyone says sign a midfielder in January. I mean, for me, Kobbie feels like the brand new signing, even though he's been at the club the whole time. Which Nudos for Maguire and Kobbie Mainoo, just tears of joy for me. Just because that manager who shall not be named, which that manager who makes Arteta look like someone who advocates for free-flowing attacking football on a weekly basis. Yeah, that guy who shall not be named. Again, to his cult followers, again, they can hold that because Kobbie Mainoo is about to sign a new deal, and I'm so happy for him, and it's such great news for the club, and
Yeah, that really is a
especially to
confidence
walk
booster.
down someone as talented as he is. And I'll say this once, and I will keep on saying this till the end of time. The fact how that manager who shall not be named had him rotting on the bench for weeks on end. Yeah, and was playing Manuel Ugarte ahead of him, and was spinning all the excuses. I'll never forgive it. And this portion of the fan base that still side with that guy who's not at the club anymore. Sorry to keep mentioning it. It's something that I have to do because I can't stop preaching about it. Like it's crazy. Like even Cass is struggling and Bruno's vacating. Kobbie's still winning duels and all that. At times he's in the midfield by himself. And he was still doing,
Yeah.
at least a half decent job. He's back in the England squad for us. I hope he goes to the World Cup. Shout out Kobe Manu. I always have to
Yeah,
do.
he's got a bright future. I enjoy watching him as an Arsenal fan. It's like, I mean, when Saka's at his best, it's like people watching him. I think sometimes you just can't help but love certain players that really come through and do a great job. I wanted to ask you actually with United, obviously, you have turned things around a lot considering where you were sort of at the start of the
Yeah.
season, last season. What do you think you guys need to do in order to compete for the league? Because at the moment you're sort of maintaining that top four spot, but what do you think you need to do to go that other level to compete with like Arsenal, Man City?
As you said, firstly, just you know, rounding up the season. I mean, for me, bare minimum top four, but for me, my expectation is third because I look at the teams below me. Aston Villa, we saw what we done to them at home, and Chelsea and Chelsea and Liverpool. It's yeah, just the battle. The battle of the Chuckle Brothers.
Yeah, they're so
I don't know
inconsistent.
if you've seen the movies. I don't know if you've seen this movie or know of this movie. Liverpool and Chelsea again. It's looking like Dumb and Dumber, and who's
Yeah.
worse? For me, it's just Dumb and Dumb. I don't know which one's dumber. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. But
It's
quickly on
yeah.
Kobe Main, you're right. Just like for me, you know, again, people call me the aesthetics merchant. Oh, you're an eye test merchant and this and that. Because for me, football for me, I also view it as not just entertainment, but as art. And for me,
Yeah.
when I see players that for me, just make football an art, like Kobe does in certain ways, like for example, Lionel Messi does in certain ways. Um, and uh, along with a certain Brazilian who is never a top player, done for years with Santos and Barcelona and at Paris Saint Germain, but apparently he was never a top player and isn't better than Sadio Mane. For me, yeah, just it's things like that make me question my love for the sport. I'd assume you've seen the quotes on that. And I know we've talked about Neymar a few times, um, but what were your thoughts when you or your instant reactions when you seen those clips on the overlap, them
I
talking about Neymar in the way that they were?
I saw that and I was just, I was shocked because I feel like I just feel like you had to be there to really, when Neymar was really at his best in that team, he was just, I just think he was just, another level. It's hard. I don't think you get many players like him anymore. And I saw that and I just thought like that
I'd
was
say
just,
ever. I
yeah,
wouldn't even say anymore because who are some of the players that on the overlap? And for me, Wright was the only one who said, "Yeah, just when the Mo Salah shouts are being thrown out," and he's just like, "Yeah, no, like I'm not doing that." The irony of Roy Keane saying, "Oh, he's not that likable," ironic that's coming from Roy Keane.
yeah, he's not the
Funnily
most
enough,
likable footballer either.
as a player, I have so much admiration and respect for what he's done for my football club. But when the Man United fans are going on about, oh, Keane is better than Vieira, no, he's not. No, he's not. Like there was never in any world where Roy Keane was ever a better footballer than Patrick Vieira. There never was. There never was. And again, it's why I'm a little bit unpopular with my football club's fan base at times. But there's never a world ever. And for me, just Jill Scott, whether you like her or not, like
Yeah,
just yeah, just when she was doing Sadio Mane shouts and listen, I rate Sadio Mane, for what he's done with Senegal and all that. And this is not no disrespect to him at all, but he should not be in the same conversation. In he should be, I don't know, a light years worth of conversations away of being mentioned in the same breath as someone like Neymar. Like
I couldn't believe
it's,
that.
but I'm
Yeah.
not surprised though, because for me, he is the most disrespected footballer for me, along with Paul Pogba. of for
Yeah,
me
go on.
of the 2010s. Like him and Paul Pogba are the two most disrespected footballers, of the 2010s era, aiming into now. Like how do you have the cheek to compare Salah to Neymar? Like it's it actually does my head in. Like, and it just reminds me why I'm falling out of love with the sport. When I hear things like that, it's sadly not surprising.
I feel
It's
like,
not,
do
but
they say this just for a reaction, or do they actually
no,
mean it?
yeah, like
Yeah, because
no,
it can't be real.
no, like it's either that or it's like they just again they just go with the stereotypes as always. I mean, how many times have we seen this with with Paul Pogba over the years? Again, the guy could be, I don't know, out with his missus at a restaurant having dinner, and it'll be, oh, Pogba needs to be focusing on his training, and we photographed him in the restaurant. It'll be, he needs to be focusing on training. This is a lack of commitment. He clearly wants to leave. This is disgraceful. This is unacceptable behavior. Have we seen this with how many footballers in this country? Like
Yeah, the
it's just bold.
media,
It's so
they were
boring.
awful. Yeah, it's the thing with the media. I mean, I felt bad for Pogba at times. It was a weird one. I feel like he was good, but it was difficult, wasn't it? Really, with he was so criticised. I'm pretty sure at the time didn't like Graham Souness, absolutely criticised him all the time. You do feel bad for players, like whatever they do, they're going to be
I don't think he could
criticised.
care less, honestly.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Like
if
for
I
me,
was
he's one
them.
of those who just and it's so funny because again he's another he's unlikable and arrogant and all the usual stereotypes for I'm not going to get into things that are bigger than football, but we all know those are the reasons because we don't see things like that for other players, right? But you know we've seen how many stories about coming from Man United players, even players that don't play for the club anymore. I mean, the current captain of the football club, in Bruno Fernandes, has said countless times when he first, moved, got to the club, Paul Pogba was the first one to help him find a place to live and help him get settled in. Like he's someone that was universally loved in that changing group. Like there wasn't a single person, maybe bar Jose Mourinho in starting from season 2, that that didn't that found Paul Pogba's and his personality to be, a problem. But
Yeah,
it's
I
just
agree.
it's the same old, and it's the same stereotypes with Neymar, and it's something that it's sadly super common. I'm not surprised that it's come out from, you know, these pundits like Roy Keane and all that. It's almost as if they don't actually watch the game. They don't watch football. Like Jamie
I
O'Hara
couldn't
to
believe it.
call Neymar a flick merchant, and the give me Bukayo Saka over Neymar. Just like I think if Bukayo Saka heard that, I think yeah,
He'd
he
probably
probably
laugh.
would have.
Yeah.
He probably laughed and would be thinking, "What are you on about? You can't put my name with someone like Neymar's." But yeah, it's enough said on that. That it's
Yeah.
such a rage bait thing that they're doing, but things like it just annoys me so much. It it just annoys me so
I
much.
feel like that's the world we live in now at the moment. Like, even
It
with
is.
pundits, I guess YouTubers, it's like people just say stuff to get a reaction. I mean, I'd hope it'd be weird to think if they actually meant that with Neymar, because I grew up watching, Neymar as well. It's no words for Neymar. He was just a different level. Um, it's really weird because, like you said, with players like Mo Salah and Mane, they were great, but Neymar was more than great, and you
No,
can't really
Neymar
put
was a whole
anyone.
vibe.
Yeah, I loved watching him when I was younger. He
Like
was
like
him,
after
Messi.
after
Yeah,
Ronaldinho, like people have to bear in mind, right? Like as the Ronaldinho era was kind of coming to a close, that was when Neymar was coming into the fold, and that was R9 had gone out. Kaká was on the other side of his best years, and Roberto Carlos, all those top like iconic Brazilian players that we know and love, were either on the twilight of their careers or well after their best years or retired or injury prone. And Neymar for years for that Brazil side. I mean, players like Joe, Fred, striker Fred, you know,
Yeah.
players like that. Like again, not for in also Sana, but players like Martinelli. Whereas someone like Ronaldinho had what players like Rivaldo. Like like you can't compare and have the same expectations of someone like that. But his talent alone, they had such high expectations, of him.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
for me, people say the best in Neymar was at Barcelona or is that PSG. No, for me, in my opinion, the best Neymar for me was before he went to Barcelona. When he peaked at 17 at Santos, and I've seen, you know, even ballers that I rate like the Alexis Sanchez's and the
Yeah.
Mahrez's and Hazard's, like you know, on the overlap, they're saying, "Oh, all those guys are better than Neymar," and I rate them. They're ballers, and Gareth Bell is
Yeah.
another one. But like they can't sit or breathe sit in the same era that Neymar does. Like his talent alone, like I've said this so many times on different platforms, right? For me, the talent alone. I mean, the company that he sits with, the Zidanes, the Ronaldinhos, the R9s, the Lionel Messi's, even your CR7s. Like that's the company that Neymar sits with. And for
Yeah.
me, only Lionel Messi and maybe CR7 early on in his career are the only two footballers that, for me, one could say, yeah, they're clear of Neymar. The only two.
Yeah. I like you said, I mean, growing up for me, Hazard, Sanchez were unreal, but again, they're
Mm.
probably just in
Ballers.
a category below, yeah, what Neymar
Yeah.
was. That era was I love that era, but yeah, with
Mhm.
the media, it doesn't surprise me, every week we probably come on here and say something they've said because it's just an awful take, and I think Paul Scholes definitely comes out with quite a few bad takes, and I
Oh,
know
plenty.
Wayne Rooney now does a bit more of, punditry and that side of things, but yeah, I think some of the things they say you've got to take it as a pinch of salt because Neymar
No, yeah,
was I mean,
of
we even
course.
spoke about him before that, and we were saying how amazing he was, so, yeah, it is what it is with that. I mean, obviously, do you have anything that you want to add on before we round the show up? I know obviously it's been a great show as well,
Mm.
let me know if you want to add anything else.
Um, mm, what did you make of the recent news about uh? There was two things. Firstly, that I think the Salah news is
Oh, yeah.
probably worthy to touch on. What did you make of it? The fact that he's leaving now, and Liverpool are, have come out and said we will not demand a fee for him. He will just go on a free. If a team wants him, they declare interest. He can go.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not a surprise he's leaving, is it really? Because I feel like this season he's probably not been as good as he usually has. I mean, as you get older, you're not gonna
Mm,
have the pace and all of that. So I think he's obviously had a falling out with the manager, and it's civil, I'd say,
yeah,
but it's probably a little bit awkward. But even though I feel like he's been at Liverpool for a while. I think he's probably
for
due a
so
fresh
long.
start. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, him going on free surprised me because didn't he just sign a deal for a few years? So,
Yeah, off the
I'll
back
be
of
inter
last season,
yeah, I
but
know. I don't know where he'll go though. Would he go to Saudi? Would he stay in the Premier League? Probably not. I don't see him staying in this
mm,
league if I'm being honest.
he says he wants to stay in Europe, but I think
Yeah,
the Saudis the overwhelmingly the most likely destination. I mean, they've been wanting him there for years. One thing I will say, right, as much as we've definitely uh been criticizing Mo Salah. I mean, his output is something to be in awe of. I mean, from a personal point of view, I'm so glad that he's leaving, so he can stop terrorizing
yeah,
the club year in and year out. Just I think Mo Salah is, I think is I think he's got the most goals of any player playing against my football club. Which yeah, I'm not surprised. But one thing I will say is this: I mean, that scene, that same near same team that won the league last season. I mean, how many of those players have dropped off? I mean, Gravenberch was being put in the Rice and Casado talks, and he's fallen off a cliff. McAllister, like, just yeah, like I'm not convinced this guy's a footballer. Like there are times where I'm watching McAllister and I'm genuinely double guessing myself and thinking, is this McAllister or I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's Canelo Alvarez. I don't know. They look pretty similar because yeah, he's not playing football. McAllister. He looks like he's never played football in his life, and his drop off from how good he was last season as well. Van Dijk, yes, he's getting older, but the drop off has been so like glaringly noticeable. Like, and you could say that with so many players, I think
Yeah, they've dropped
I've
off a
dropped
lot.
off. And when you see that level of quality of player and that many players drop off, including Mo Salah, like for me, you have to look at the manager. You have to look at the
Yeah,
manager. We've seen this so many times. Like,
it's crazy, isn't it, last season? I mean, it's a tough one, isn't it, with Liverpool? Because I think when he came in, he did inherit a decent squad. It's not like he's had to. Last season, he
no,
didn't
yeah.
need to do too much.
Mhm.
But again, this season, it's just like, and it's not been spoken about enough how much money they've spent.
No,
Because
it's not.
can you imagine if that was us, or
If this
especially
this was
Arsenal?
if this was my football club
Yeah,
spending money on players, we
yeah,
had spent 500 million, and just off the season that we you could say we even had. Say we spent 500 million after winning or after what finishing as low as we did, and failing as much as Liverpool is right now. We would be getting slaughtered in the media,
yeah, we would as
but it's not
well.
being talked about enough. From us,
Liverpool
how
are
we're
loved.
hearing,
Yeah,
yeah, Isak needs time to settle. This pre-injury, like Isak needs time to settle. Like settle. Like, are you talking about what? I don't know. Like what? Finding a home, like finding a place to live in Liverpool. Sure, but but don't tell me you need time selling onto the pitch. Record. Signing Isak. Like
I know
it's and
it's
I said
crazy
this
they've spent
before,
so much.
and
Yeah,
and I've been getting cooked for this all season. And yes, Arne Slot has done this to a much higher degree, because yes, he's won a league title in comparison to this manager whose name again I'll only mention this once, but this season it is eerily similar in regards to the drop off to Ten Hag season 2, because when Ten Hag come in, didn't do much with the tactics, just kept it simple. Just kept the Casemiro Fred pivot, who was scoring so many of our goals. Just let the attackers play. It wasn't too much of an imprint. Season and then that summer, which like with the transfer window, I think that actually is the worst summer I think I've ever lived through in a transfer window. Andre Onana, 55 million.
he
Mason
was
Mount,
awful.
60 million to replace Ericsson. And the crowning jewel, Rasmus Højlund, for 72 million. And Ten Hag said, no, I don't want to bid for Harry Kane with a year left on his deal. I want Rasmus Højlund, which, that in and of itself, that still irritates me to this day.
That's a bad
So,
stuff.
and he
Yeah,
implemented his, which is eerily similar to Liverpool's struggles, the 3-1-6, bagel ball, as I call it, because there's nothing in the middle. Their midfield gets bypassed so easily. The lone six, just again, they struggle so much in that midfield, and we've seen how far they have fallen and they've dropped off, and it is so eerily similar. The only difference is, yes, Arne Slot also, inherited a team that, we're in a title race and we're good enough to win a title, which,
yeah,
they did win a title. He just let the
yeah.
players do their thing and win it, and then he tried to imprint his tactics, and he's trying to have Frimpong and Kirkes be inverted fullbacks, which, I think that says everything you need to know. Just,
Yeah,
it's mental, but I'm enjoying it.
yeah, I do as well. I mean, it would be crazy as well to imagine Liverpool not in the Champions League next season. I mean, it'd be great because Liverpool
Oh, it'd
have
be
really had a
wonderful.
lot of success over these past few years. I mean, yeah, I mean, the drop off is quite crazy, but with Mo Salah, it's not really a surprise. I think it was nice to see as well online people showing respect to him because you know what, he's an unbelievable player, but he's not what he used to be, and I think for him as well, you know, it's about if you've been at a place for a while, you know, it's I think with your football career you only get so long
Mm,
as well. So I feel like it makes
yeah.
sense for him to move on. I think with Liverpool it's good as well because I think Mo Salah he has carried Liverpool for quite a while.
Oh,
Um
yeah,
but
with
I-
the
but
numbers,
yeah,
absolutely.
but
He's the
he's
reason why
not
they
what
won a
he
league title.
yeah, he
Yeah,
really
Liverpool
was.
didn't win that league title. Mo Salah did. And the last team that I think we have to talk about, just for the sake of comedy. I mean, before we talk about this team, I just need to emphasize how important it is. You know, we must respect the ball. We must respect the football. For me, just both my goalkeepers are world class, but I don't see in a number one and number two goalkeeper. It's Enzo Maresca's fault. It's this person's fault. I feel bad for Linkton Liam. I mean, we have to talk about Chelsea before we round up the show. Like we have to. Like it's just it's funny. Like it's very very funny. Which for me, this is why I call it. And I've just made up the show. Why I'm going to start calling Chelsea and Liverpool. Not Dumb and Dumber. Just maybe Dumber and Dumbest.
It's so bad. They're so bad, aren't they?
I mean,
It's so
it's very funny.
I'm enjoying it. You know what? For me, growing up, Chelsea literally would win
Mm.
everything, and it's so nice to see how far they've fallen. Because I mean, we've beaten them for a chance this season. We've beaten them quite a lot. I mean, there was one point as well. I'm pretty sure people were thinking that they were in the title race, and it's like they're
I
so
mean,
far from
but
that.
again, it was with Maresca, and like
He
Maresca
was
had
actually
these
not
guys
doing too bad.
competing. Maresca was the reason why everyone's gonna say, "Oh, it's a Cole Palmer shot in the Club World Cup." Maresca had these players, which for me, I rate Maresca so high, as highly as I do. He had that. He had this Chelsea team performing to, literally getting the maximum amount, out of these Chelsea players. That Club World Cup, all he said was, "Hey, I just want a contract extension. Otherwise, I won't be talking to Man City anymore." And just all I'm asking, just get me one commanding, experienced senior center back. They said nope, internal solutions. But hey, don't worry, we saw reinforcements for you. Here's Garnacho, Gittins, and Liam Delap.
Do you know
And
what's funny
Buonanotte.
about
How could
Do
we
you know what's
forget?
funny with Garnacho? He seems to always turn up
Oh, I
whenever
love it.
Arsenal play. He's I feel like he doesn't do much, but when he when he plays against
He
Arsenal,
doesn't do anything when he plays. And again, another thing I say every single show, Chelsea, like I will like that 40 million that you sent my way. Like I will again, it's something that I will keep speaking until the end of time. I again, Chelsea, just thank you. Like I can't thank you enough for just the reign of terror that you saved me from. Him and his brother, like, and again, you've seen his brother on his socials, changing his bow to 23, 24, with the dove emoji. Like, yeah, definitely not talking about Garnacho's breakthrough season. I mean, I know, definitely not. But for me, just another one that for me, again, I don't like being too shameless or getting too much of my high horse on certain things. But again, another really stupid war that I had to fight, long and hard, and come out on the other side as the winner of it. Again, I've been saying about Garnacho. That guy's nothing but trouble.
yeah,
He's nothing but shot. He's nothing but talk, and he's
that's
nothing but
not
just
yeah,
he's one of the biggest false images in football. Like he has made a career and a reputation of being this allegedly promising young player, right? Oh, Alejandro Garnacho by being, and again, I'm not getting on anyone for being a CR7 fanboy because there are plenty out there, and I'm not trying to upset that community, but he's literally made a career off of being a CR7 fanboy. And and it's disrespectful to CR7. What I would hear from my fans, they gave Garnacho the iconic Viva Ronaldo chant. They done a Viva Garnacho chant for him, for one of the greatest players that the Premier League has ever seen, one of the greatest players that my club has ever seen. It's so unbelievably disrespectful to him to then just give Garnacho that chant when he's done nothing to warrant it.
Yeah, that's not been a great signing for Chelsea. That really
Hmm,
hasn't. They yeah,
this
they're really struggling at the moment, actually. I mean,
they're
it's
so
great to
bad.
see. I'm
Oh, it's
enjoying it.
it's wonderful to see. I still can't get over the statements he made before Arsenal, and it was what after we dispatched Arsenal without we fried you lot at the Emirates, and remember you come out with the if Manchester United can be Arsenal, then so can we. I mean, I think Chelsea probably would have beaten Arsenal for potentially if they didn't have the injuries that they did. Secondly, if Maresca was in charge, and they probably would have won because in that second leg, Garnacho started on the bench. So yeah, a good
Yeah.
chance they probably maybe could have gotten something out of it. Unfortunately, not though. But
Yeah, I
it's so
just
typical of Garnacho to do this. But I just love seeing it. Especially at Chelsea for the
yeah,
I've heard
they're down.
nothing but the 60 mil for Mason Mount. If I could see those two deals happen, I will gladly pay 60 million for for the Mason Mount again, then take Garnacho back.
Yeah,
Like he's
he's been really poor. Chelsea
he is
are
so
it's been great
awful.
to see. It's been great the fact that Tottenham are bad, Chelsea are
Oh
bad.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
Tottenham
Tottenham. Yeah, let's talk about them. Like and
they could
it
actually
speaks
go
for
down.
me because that means I may have to do a complete rebranding of my own channel. Shout out to our beloved Tottenham panelists, Andre. We love him at PLPT. We do, but yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out what to do. Like if Tottenham go down, so like in a way, I kind of hope they don't because it'll just for the sake of not having to do just unnecessary additional work. But you know what? Like I may have to. Like I might have to make contingency plans for it because for me, like it's between. I think Forest will probably just get out of this alive.
Yeah, I
It's
think so.
between West Ham and Tottenham, and I think West Ham have much more fight in them,
Yeah,
and
it's so difficult with West Ham. I just
they have X factor and Bowen. Bowen is proven X factor, and I can't look at Tottenham and look at one player and think to myself, okay, is there someone in the attack that will just stop that and will just carry us, or whether they have their own version of their salad to get them their goals to get them out of trouble. No. Do they have an elite midfielder who will grab the game by the scruff of the neck and will score the goals, get assists, and get them out of jail? No. Do they have do they have a top class defense where you can look at it and be like, yeah, they'll get me out of trouble? No.
yeah.
But apparently Romero and Van de Ven work class. And I'm not even gonna go into the goalkeepers. I'm not because it's a waste of time. Which Vicario's out with hernia now,
Yeah,
so
they're in
Kinski's
trouble
gonna have to
now.
play for the rest of the season. Which
That could go messy with
I genuinely think Tottenham are gonna go down. And
I
you
hope
know what?
so.
It'll be one of the worst seasons with quality, but one of the strangest with Tottenham going down. Because who would have thought after winning that Europa League? Yeah, just like, I don't like talking about that final, but I was thinking, that they're gonna maybe they're gonna try and kick on, even though it is Tottenham, and how unambitious they are. Like you'd think, yeah, they're gonna try to maybe kick on at least a little bit, just for them to fall so drastically down the other way. But if you think about it, it's only right because it's the most for me the most Spursy Tottenham thing I think I've ever seen in all my years of living. For them to
I'm
win a
enjoying it.
European Cup, to sack that manager,
The downfall is just
and now they're a single point above the relegation zone. Like
I never
that's the
thought the
most
day would
Tottenham
come.
thing I've seen in my existence.
Do you know what as well? I don't know if you saw it before the Tottenham game,
What?
but there was like a little parade and there was like it was just ridiculous. And I
Wait, what was
thought,
the
oh,
parade?
I was like, "Aren't you supposed to have a parade if you won something?"
Oh,
Did you see it? It looked. I thought to myself, like, I want you to go down now even more.
for the Europa League
Oh, wait,
with
let me
Ange.
see if I can find it. I can send
Oh
you
my
it. But
goodness, yeah.
it was it. Do you know what
And
though?
I
It
don't really
sucks.
have beef with them. I don't. It's only because really of what our awful record with yeah those two terroristic managers, and for that cup final that that I have issues with Tottenham. Otherwise, I don't really have issues
I'll
with
try and
Tottenham
put it.
because
I'll try and see if I can find it on here. But it was.
because it's as Fergie said, lads, it's only Tottenham, but it's just a shame that the two managers side um didn't treat them as their only Tottenham. And one thing that I was going to ask about before we rounded up the show, as you're trying to find this,
Yeah.
um, um, what did you make of just some of the players in the selections called up by Tuchel for uh, our run of games this international break? And yes, for those who are so serious here, yes, I do have English heritage. Before you're thinking, no, the accent, surely not. Yes, I do. So just to make that abundantly clear, what did you make of the squad that Tuchel called up? And I know it's a bloated squad, but to kind
Yeah.
of experiment. But
I.
any
You know what as
surprises?
well? Do you know what I was actually? I wasn't surprised in general, but with Ben White being called up as well, I think someone got
Yeah,
injured. But I suppose that surprises
Kwanzaa
me.
got injured, and who was pulled out?
Let me just
And
try and quickly share my screen
Cole
actually.
Palmer did, but no, yeah,
Oh,
no, I need to see this parade.
this was just before the game against Forest, I think.
Hmm.
Hopefully it will come on. Just give me a sec. Um,
This is too funny.
can you see it?
Yeah, yeah.
That was the parade just before. I think it was when you were playing Forest. Like that. That was it before.
Wait,
Yeah. That.
wait, this parade was recent,
I
like
think
a few
so.
days ago.
Yeah. I'm sure it was recent.
No
I
way,
saw.
this was a few days ago. I thought this you were talking about like after the Europa
No,
League final.
I swear this happened recently.
Why are they having a parade for the Europa League? What? I
Dude,
would like
I saw this on my timeline and I was
I would
just
have
really
thought, yeah, just
I was let me see if there's anything else, but
how does
yeah,
that even okay?
I just didn't even react to that. I was just like, what the hell is that? Like, but yeah, with the England team, I mean, it's really weird though, isn't it? Because Saka's not really in form, but I bet you when he plays for England,
Hmm,
he'll be
yeah. He
different,
was
right?
always going to get
Yeah.
a call up, but apparently Tuchel's giving some of the players who, which I rate, like
Yeah,
who've been
so
playing a lot of minutes, like the first game, like he's more or less said to like I think Gay. I know Declan's on there. I know Saka's on there. I think Harry Kane as well. He's more or less said to like I think like 11 or 12 or so of the players. You lot, I don't know whether it's just in the country or wherever. Go on a week's holiday and come back
yeah.
after the game against Uruguay, which we should win, even if it is squad experimentation. It's Bielsa, so you should win regardless.
Yeah,
But after that game, yeah, come back. But until then, go on holiday for a bit and
I
chill.
think they
I
need
rate
it
that.
to be honest.
I
Yeah,
I
it's
I really really do rate that from the manager. But even though
yeah,
whether you like him or not, how I'm confused as to why Trent wasn't even included in this squad, considering that this is what like a bloated squad or I forgot the actual term for it, but
yeah, I don't know what's
like a
happened
trial
to Trent.
experimentation squad. I like not even as just like someone to just have a look at. Like I was
Yeah,
very surprised, you know, seeing the
yeah, me
right
too.
back pool, especially that Reece James is not there. And if Reece James is fit, for me, he starts anyways. But how Trent was even called in, and Ben White is called in. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that was
that's very, 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 very spooky for me. Which I
yeah,
don't think Ben White's getting on the roster, but then again, you never know. I've accepted at this point that Henderson's just going to go to the World Cup. As much I just don't want to see it. And they're going to say, "Oh, he's a leader." You have Harry Kane, you have Stone to be fit. Harry Maguire probably will go. You have Pickford, like you have
I
leaders.
think I think Danny Welbeck should be going as well. I think he's a good
He should
option.
have gone
Like,
on the call up.
yeah, I was a bit
I think
disappointed.
Tony should have as well because I think after Harry Kane, I think Ivan Tony is the best number 9 that we've got, and I don't care if he plays in the Saudi league because if people want to say, "Oh, he's playing in the Saudi league," then why did Jordan Henderson for all those years when he was playing in Saudi get a call up?
Exactly, he always got a shout, didn't
Keep the
he?
same energy, even if it is
Yeah,
Gareth Southgate. I don't care.
yeah,
He was getting call
exactly.
ups, so
Yeah, I'd be interested to see how we do get on in these games, but they are friendlies, so it's just
mm.
to test out
It's
new
time to
things.
experiment.
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
if we lose, say if we lose to Japan 2-1, but Tuchel's doing I don't know Pep levels of overcomplicating and experimentation. Really, I couldn't care less as long as the performance isn't too worrying. I
Yeah, it's
really
just
couldn't care
friendlies.
less.
It's not too serious, really, is it, at this
Yeah,
stage? But
mm,
yeah, really excited to see how England get on, and yeah, I'm just
absolutely.
excited actually and have a break from Arsenal, which would be nice.
I'm
Um,
disappointed with their national break.
yeah,
Just
I
want to
do
play
get
football.
you. Yeah, it's turned so much
Just
now,
get this
but
Champions League all sealed and done.
yeah,
Honestly, just win 4 more games, and I feel like I'm not going to need to care for the rest of it
yeah, I
because
don't
I think
blame you.
Liverpool and Chelsea will just destroy themselves, and Villa aren't good enough either. So imagine how funny it would be, especially if it's top 5, if both
Yeah,
Liverpool and Chelsea finish outside of it.
I would enjoy that, to be honest. I don't mind Villa finishing 4th. I don't really
No, I
mind
don't.
Villa,
No, I don't
so
mind it.
that'd be good for them actually to get that.
Everton, Brentford, you have a new mission.
Yeah,
Jump
I
Liverpool and Chelsea for 5th, please.
yeah, I'd love that. Do you know what Everton have done good? I just don't want we
They've
don't
had a
want
great
Liverpool.
season.
Yeah, we don't want Liverpool to to have any
No,
success,
no,
but
Liverpool and Chelsea deserve nothing.
yeah.
Nothing at all.
Oh, it'd be great to see that honestly, but obviously as well, thank you for coming on. Do you want
Mm.
to tell people a bit about your channel as well and where they can find
Mm.
you? Obviously, we'll put it in the title as well.
Yeah. So, my channel, it's just sort of a quick heads up. There was a slight yeah, what do you call it? Rebrand or renaming. I mean, the full name is Premier League Primetime, but on YouTube, just we're PLPT. So yeah, at PLPT, quite literally just those 4 letters, PLPT, and you'll find us. As for where we're at, you can find us on Instagram at PL Primetime as well, where you can also find us on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on YouTube. To see what myself and the rest of my panel and Jose and Sirius and Andre and Mo, big up to all of them as well, and all the great, wonderful footballing conversations and stuff that we're doing over there.
Yeah,
So yeah, people.
yeah,
If
do
you
check it
if you've
out.
liked my waffle enough and you've stayed awake, yeah, feel free to go over and subscribe. But yeah, a lot of people tune out. But
Oh yeah, it's been great. These it goes so quick when we do chat away about
it
football.
does.
Obviously, we will be back next week as well over on the PL Prime Time, and
Yes, we will be back on my
yeah,
channel, people.
yeah, it'd be great to be back on your channel and to those that are watching us back as well. Obviously it's a pre-recorded video for a
Mhm.
change. I hope you guys do enjoy the video. Do subscribe to PL Primetime. Do subscribe to my channel as well if you have enjoyed this video, and I will see you all very soon.